even is this EndWar thing anyway? I've been very excited to tell you about EndWar in depth since the last time I talked about EndWar. And when I talked about EndWar last, it was more about the drama surrounding the creation of EndWar and why it was so very necessary to make EndWar. And now I get to talk to you about EndWar in a completely different light because I am so excited for it. So this video is going up the weekend before EndWar, which means that EndWar is next weekend, guys. If you're watching this video after next weekend, that would be after June 25th of 2017, then you get to look forward to next year's EndWar. But for now, we're just talking about the first one, EndWar Prime, as it is, and that is the event that's happening this coming weekend, June 23rd through 25th in Athens, Ohio at the Ohio University. And the reason that I'm so very, very stoked, so incredibly excited to tell you about it is because when I first told you about it, it was about why it was necessary and why I was so thrilled that I had the opportunity and the privilege to save all of my buddies' travel plans and help bring a really great game to life. And now I get to tell you about it because most of that stuff has happened. So since I want to play in the event, I actually don't know any of the secrets about the game, but I've paid a lot of money for props and I've seen my moderator team working incredibly hard over the last, gosh, I want to say it's been 3 months now, putting together what should be one of the best invitationals any HVZ player could ever hope to go to. And the really cool thing about that is that I know some of you guys, some of my fans out in Ohio or that Midwest area will come out. And for some of you, this will be your first HVZ or massive Nerf scale experience. And you guys are so lucky because with no bias, you're just going to have an awesome time. Like with no frame of reference, it's going to be an awesome pseudo roleplay Nerf adventure weekend. But I want to talk to you about it. I want to tell you about some of the things that you get just for coming. I want to talk to you about some of the people that you get to meet just for being there. I want to talk to you about like why it's so incredibly special to me and why I feel so strongly about it that I was willing to sink as many of my resources and time and energy and everything into it as I have. And so I'll start with the nitty-gritty. So EndWar is a humans versus zombies game, which means that for those of you that may have never heard of humans versus zombies before, the human faction armed with Nerf blasters will try and tag with Nerf darts the zombie faction without getting tagged by zombie hands and turning into zombies. So I feel like I butchered that very poorly, but what HVZ really is a game of tag that utilizes Nerf blasters to protect the resistance, which is the human squad, from the zombie squad. As the zombies pick people off of the resistance, the zombie horde grows, and eventually either a small fraction of humans wins or the zombies declare victory by killing all of the humans. Doesn't matter how the game actually ends, it's just a ton of fun. So, EndWar is going to be the best of the best. A lot of schools are sending their very best human and their very best zombie players. That doesn't mean that there isn't place for absolute brand new Nerfers or younger players. It just means that you might want to hook up with a squad that knows what they're doing. That said, EndWar is going to be open to any and all Nerfers or foam warriors of any variety between the ages of 12 and 200. So, if you're not undead, you won't be towards that higher end of the spectrum. So the logistics of being between 12 and 18 and playing are a little easy and a little complicated. So it breaks at 16. If you're under that, you have to have a parent and guardian with you at all times. If you're over that but still under 18, I think, and I'm not positive here, that you just have to have their permission written on your waiver. So they have to come and sign with you so that they know that you're running around with a bunch of college kids playing the zombie game. That said, anybody over 18, all you have to do is attend a rules meeting and sign your own safety waiver. The safety waiver is pretty basic. It just covers the general of you are running around on a public university's college campus in the heat, in the middle of Ohio, playing a zombie game of tag that's going to be very cardiovascularly involved. Or not. You could be on Bobo's team, which mostly just walks everywhere. Bobo. Anyway, so there will be rules and safety meetings rolling throughout the day Friday, and then the gameplay begins on Saturday. There will also be, I think, some emergency rules and safety meetings for people who show up on Saturday. I am not positive about that, but the entire schedule will be posted in the description box below. Now again, the links in the description box below are the most important thing about this video. Because I am not technically a moderator of this game, I did not help with the safety or the rules or what have you, so I have an understanding of them that I've gathered from reading them, but the official documents are in the description box below, along with the most important thing, which is the registration form. You need to register for EndWar if you want to come to EndWar. Not only because you have to register for the game so that we can give you a player card, but also so that we can know how many people are coming. Right now it looks like there's going to be hundreds of people from an international crowd coming to Athens, Ohio to do glorious foam battle, but if it's like more than 400 or 500 people, we need to know that so that we can plan adequately. I am not opposed to paying more money for more resources if we get that many players, but right now I don't know what to expect. So I'm making this video a week in advance so that if you want to be a part of this, and I want you to be a part of this, then I'd like you to register as soon as you know that that's something that you want to do so that we can make that happen and plan more accordingly. That said, let me talk about the exciting things that are going on at EndWar. So with all of that registration nitty-gritty out of the way, I can tell you about the thing that I am most excited about, the thing that I've focused on very, very hard to provide the absolute best experience I possibly could, and that is FoamCon. FoamCon will be this Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., so that's the 23rd of this month, in a ballroom on the Athens, Ohio University campus. Now, it should be very easy to find for the vendors, and there are lots of vendors. We will start loading in at 9, but I will be there even earlier to make sure that everything goes smoothly. That said, who's coming to FoamCon and why is it so exciting? Well, I went out of my way not only to bring in the best nerfers in this community, bar none, but I also wanted to bring in people who make Nerf blasters for a living, companies that make 3D printed parts and accessories for Nerf blasters, modders, videographers, drone photographers, and even companies that make blasters themselves. In addition to that, I've been talking to and working with companies to have some samples provided for you to test, and some are going to bring things for you to take home. It's very, very exciting how many different things, components, parts, full blasters, builds, celebrities, etc. you will get to meet at FoamCon. So aside from the usual suspects, which are all of my friends from the SENC, that means that you get the guy who runs AmmoCounter.com. He makes custom ammo counters. That means that you get the entire Project FDL crew. Those are complete 3D printed from the base up blasters that you should be familiar with by now because I love their stuff. That means that you get all of my buddies from the SENC who you might recognize or might not from my videos, but they've done loadout videos and they're just excellent all-around players. That means that you get Boba Lolo. That means that Flying Chicken will be there, etc., and so forth. In addition to that, I have 2 documentarians from the HVZ/Nerf community coming. One of them is the person behind the One of Us documentary, which is much less known than, of course, my good buddy Rob, who will probably be there as Trolling Tony of the Thunderdome documentary. In addition to that, we have multiple blaster companies coming, and we have suppliers coming as well. We've got the Hooligans, we've got the Michel Motor Company, which is Foam Blast now, and so there's going to be lots of components. Containment Crew is coming, and they help me pay for the bandanas of the event. In fact, both of those, the Foam Blast and the Containment Crew people, helped with the official event bandana. Speaking of which, what does that look like? Well, the Draculina did it again. This is the official EndWar bandana, and I've always believed that the bandana, particularly from last year's event, which we won't name, she did the art for this one as well. The bandana was really special to me, and I was willing to spend a lot of money so that everybody would get a souvenir of sorts, like a special memento of our time together and a really valuable game piece for the game itself. Since the bandana denotes either zombies or humans, it's important to have a bandana, and since I'm giving you one for free, all you have to do is show up and swing by FoamCon, and you can pick up a bandana for free, absolutely no charge. You can come on by and get one. You will get a unique bandana that marks this event, and you can use in the game as your player bandana. That said, if you do have a very special bandana, and I know who you guys are, it cannot be pink or yellow as the moderator teams are using those for their events. But I will be giving away a bandana at my booth to every player who comes up to say hey at FoamCon. I have plenty of them. Unless we get we're not going to get enough players that I won't have enough bandanas for you. There will be a bandana for you. And I'm also selling these. For the most hardcore of players, this is the EndWar logo. Just to be abundantly clear here, those are all different Nerf blasters up top, and then zombie hands on the bottom. So these are going to be $5 at my booth. They're just standard patches. You iron them on, or you could attach Velcro and throw them on your gear. But those are just two of the things that are going to be at my booth. I have something old and something new that I will be raffling off at my booth, and then all of the other creators are bringing a ton of really, really cool stuff as well. So I'm definitely not naming everyone who's coming to this event, but pretty much everybody who's coming is special in one way or another. And that is what makes an event of the scale so very, very cool. Like, there are some big YouTubers coming. In addition to my channel, I know that the Make Test Battle Boys are going to be there, and we have Aaron Esther dropping down from Canada, and that's not even all of them. That's just two of the larger channels that will be attending FoamCon and EndWar. There's going to be a ton of parties, a lot of fun. I'm very, very excited. I do want to mention briefly that your blaster must fit under a 130 FPS cap. For those of you that know what FPS caps and like 130 FPS looks and feels like, you already know how to abide by this rule. For those of you that are like, what even is 130 FPS? It's not going to be an issue for you, because that's a highly modified top tier kind of blaster, and some of them even go a little over that, which is why we're trying to level it at 130 FPS. My moderators will be checking that throughout the day. So make sure that you register for the event, make sure that you attend a rules meeting sometime on Friday, and come say hey at FoamCon so that I can give you your free bandana. Like, I am really looking forward to not taking 100 or a couple hundred of these home with me. I think that covers everything. I am so very, very excited to bring this event to you. There's going to be a ton of media coverage in terms of, like, I will be doing probably daily vlogs leading up to the event, because I have a lot of preparations and a lot of travels. Since they're Nerf-related daily vlogs, I hope that they are received well on the channel. So far, the long-form content's been doing really well on the channel, which encourages me to do more of it. I really like sharing those tidbits and that behind the scenes with you guys, so if you keep watching it, I'll keep making it. In addition to that, with all these YouTubers and all these Nerfers coming, I know that we're just going to get a ton of killer footage from the event itself. So even if you can't make it, and I'm going to be really sad if you can't make it, but I totally understand how hard it is to travel these days, especially from far away, you'll be able to be a part of the event by following along with the official event hashtag on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, which is hashtag EndWar, as well as just checking out all of the coverage that people are going to post from the event. All of your favorite Nerfers should be there anyway, so I'm sure that they'll post at least something about how it went and how it was for them. I just want to say that I'm really excited to see all of you that I'm going to get to see. Some of you are friends that I haven't seen in a year, maybe two, maybe three, at EndWar. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and the most important thing that I want you guys to bring, other than the necessary like sunblock, hydration, etc. that you'll need for an event like this, is a good attitude. My mod team and I have been working incredibly hard to bring that spirit of Nerf, that kind of youthful exuberance and fun into the event, because I feel like a lot of HVZ programs have been losing that as they've been getting more and more competitive and so hardcore with all of these veteran players who are the absolute best or what have you. And I think that with so many of those players coming to EndWar, the single most important thing to focus on is that Nerf should be fun, and that this event is going to be an absolutely great time no matter how you play it, no matter how you slice it. And I think that as long as everybody focuses on having fun at the event, it's going to be great. I think that it's the classic, like, you get out what you put in, and so if you come with a great attitude and leave with a great attitude, you're going to have a great time. I will see you guys there. The last thing that I want to mention is that that end screen that I've been sneaking in that has the EndWar logo and sign and the chibi zombie drac chasing the girl human player is actually the official event t-shirt, and you can pick that up on Teespring in the description box below as well. That's my official merch store, so there's also going to be like Drac logos and Body by Nerf logos, but the EndWar t-shirt is there as well. The Draculina spent a lot of time on art for the event. My good buddy Daniel actually did the EndWar logo itself, and so the SCNC has helped me out a ton with making this a reality and making this possible, and I could not thank them enough. So check out the t-shirt if that's your cup of tea. Definitely come by and get a free bandana. Buy a patch if you're really into tactical nonsense, and I will see you guys this weekend in Athens, Ohio, along with all of the vlogs leading up to it. Much love, Nerf on, Drac out.